Hi everyone, I hope you are all having a very splendid, wonderful day today. It has been a while since I last sat down and filmed a video for you guys, 3 weeks to be exact, and that is simply due to the fact that I have been super busy at school and I have finally finished my first semester of college. I am done being a freshman. I will never be a freshman again in my entire life, which is just crazy. And it's even crazier to think that I will be spending my sophomore year working at Walt Disney World, which is something that not a lot of college students can say, but I can because I was accepted for the Disney College program. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my acceptance story, and just a little tiny disclaimer, not everyone's experience is the same, so hopefully this video will give you a little bit of insight on what to expect for when you apply for your own program. I heard about the Disney College program through my academic advisor when I met him during one of the open houses my university held, and as soon as I met him, he just told me that I looked like I would be perfect for Disney, and that I should definitely look into doing the program and possibly look into the auditions and hopefully try to be a character performer down there. So ever since he planted the Disney seed, I have been doing my research, watching videos, looking at people's vlogs, and just really educating myself on what the program is exactly and what the qualifications were. So this was about a year ago that I found out about the program, and after doing a lot of research, I came to the conclusion that I really wanted to do either the Fall Advantage or the Fall program. I just really wanted to spend my time down there during the holidays and get that whole experience. So after doing a lot of research on YouTube, on Google, through the Facebook pages, I found out that applications usually drop for the fall programs around the second to last week of January. So once January 2017 hit, I was on the lookout for these applications and just getting ready for them to drop. So on January 23rd, it finally came. Applications had finally went out, and after one of my dance classes, I went to go check my phone, and my phone was blown up with all these messages and people just saying, oh my gosh, go apply, it's out. And a lot of people saying, I'm in progress, I'm in submission, which for those of you who don't know, submission is basically Disney's way of saying you're waitlisted. It's not the end of the world if you're in submission, because people do get pulled out and they do proceed with the application process, but for some people that is the farthest they go. So after talking to a couple of my friends that I had met on the Facebook pages, a lot of them were in submission, so I was kind of scared that if I applied right away, I would also be put in submission. So I decided that I would wait a little bit, so I ended up getting lunch, and then I went back to my room and I sat down on the computer and I opened up the application. It was really easy and straightforward. You just had to fill out your basic information about your school, what grade you're in, yada yada yada. And then once you filled out all that information, you then moved on to filling out what roles you were interested in or had interest in. And I remember I put interest in a lot of the roles just because I thought it would better my chances on moving to the next round of the application process. So yeah, I did that. I definitely put high interest for all of the entertainment roles just because that's really what I wanted to go down there for and focus on while I was working. I also included my resume, which included all of my past work experience and all that stuff. After completing the application, I then looked over it, made sure everything was correct, and then I just submitted it, and then I checked my little dashboard and it said that I was in progress, which is great, which meant that I moved on to the next round, aka the web-based interview. And a lot of people are like, oh, I failed the web-based interview, but it's really just a series of questions to get to know you better, get to see how you work, and basically a personality test, honestly. But yeah, it was fairly easy. So I got the web-based interview email about 3 hours after I had submitted my application. So I decided that I would complete it once my mom got out of work and was home, just so she can help me out if I had any questions or if I was struggling with some of the questions. So when she finally got home, I set up my computer and I had FaceTimed her and put the phone next to it, and I was just reading aloud the questions and just making sure that they were okay. So after completing the web-based interview, a new screen popped up and it said that I had moved on to the phone interview, which is the final round to the application process. So I was super excited. So after that screen popped up, I was redirected to the scheduling system. So I picked the day that I wanted my phone interview to be on and the time and everything. So I picked January 27th at, I believe it was around 10 o'clock. It was pretty early in the morning just because I had rehearsals at night and I wanted to get it done and over with. So, I had about 4 days to prep for it, and I will definitely be making a separate video on how my phone interview went, because honestly, I felt like such an awkward potato during it, and I thought it went terribly. I was just really, really awkward and just Just stay tuned for the next video when I explain exactly what actually happened, because it's a story. So after the terrible phone interview, I had to play this waiting game. Thankfully, I was able to audition, and I do have a whole separate video about my experience and how it went and what to expect, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. But yeah, I went to the audition, and all the confidence that I had lost after having such a terrible phone interview came back after the great audition that I had. So, you know, at the audition, they basically said that we would hear back within 2 weeks. So, you know, 2 weeks came, and I got my acceptance on March 23rd, 2017, 2 months after I had submitted my application. So it did take a long time for me to hear back, and within like those 2 months I saw so many people just getting accepted that applied the first day, that applied like the week before they got accepted. Disney is completely random, so everyone's acceptance is unique to that one person. You know, not everyone's story is the same, so don't be discouraged if you don't hear back from them right away. A lot of people hear the last week of acceptances, so it really just depends. I got my acceptance email after I had finished one of my dance midterms. Once I was done with the midterm, I just decided to go check my phone, and I refreshed my email, and there it popped up, congratulations, yada yada yada. So I just like immediately started crying, and I was screaming and just jumping up and down. So I ran to my best friend AJ, like crying and jumping, and I showed him the phone, and he already knew that I had got it, and he was like, oh my goodness, you got it. And then everyone in the room was just like cheering and clapping because they were so excited for me, because they knew how bad I wanted this. So after that, I called my mom and I told her, and she was extremely happy for me too, and she told my brother, and then later on in the day I called my dad and told him. So they were all just really excited. Unfortunately, I didn't record anything, which I look back on and I wish I did have that footage of me just like crying and looking a hot mess, but you know, it happened, so it's whatever. So I actually locked myself out of my account, so I couldn't even see what role I was offered or like how to accept it and how to like pay for everything. So I was like flipping out. I kept like emailing them like, please help me reset my password. After resetting it, I saw that I got the character performer role. So yeah, it was great. It was a great day. And you know, looking back, that waiting game was extremely long, but extremely worth it. I did get accepted, so all is well, and now I'm less than a month away of moving to Florida. So now that school is done, I could just focus on Disney and recording videos and packing and shopping and just really making sure that I am ready for this big move and this big adventure that I'm about to embark on. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!